Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for another New in the Cube product feature. My name is Elizabeth Miller and I'm CEO at Quaint Business Solutions. Quaint is an SAP Business One provider who values excellence in customer service as well as knowledge in the SAP B1 application. Part of what we do at Quaint is we ensure that we are always bringing the latest and greatest innovations in the B1 space to existing customers and potential new customers, which is what brings us to our wonderful presentation today. Today, we're going to be featuring how to streamline intercompany operations in SAP Business One. This solution helps you replicate master data across your organization, automate intercompany transactions, and achieve financial consolidation effortlessly. Our presentation today will be done by Nicole Laurier from Fisher Technologies. So thank you, Nicole, for joining us today to show us this awesome solution. Just a reminder, we will have questions and answer time at the end. Should any questions arise during the presentation, just be sure to jot those down. We'll be happy to answer those following Nicole's presentation. So Nicole, if you're ready, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you everyone for joining. So just a brief introduction to Fisher Technology and the software that we represent, which is BPA platform. This is where our intercompany template solution is built upon. The platform itself is a SAP certified ISV, and we've been working in the SAP Business One arena for probably more than 20 years. So anything that we do within Business One is obviously, we make sure that all your data integrity is covered, and we are very familiar with working that way, and Quaint, being one of our partners, is actually able to work with this solution as well. So the idea for having the template is that BPA is a bunch of tools that enable you to build the business process, but by having a template, it's almost like a starter pack to make it easy to work with an intercompany solution. So you get a pack of pre-configured processes that will enable you to automate the intercompany transactions, the processes, and also the documents. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run through the three areas of functionality that feature with the intercompany solution. One thing to bear in mind is that because it's a template, it can be enhanced if you need it to. So if there's functionality that is offered that you don't need, then you don't have to have that. Or if there's additional functionality that you need, that can be added. So with that said, the three parts of our intercompany solution are the intercompany trading. So the use case for that is when you've got a business with a number of subsidiaries. They could be all in the USA, or they could be in multiple different countries. So whatever the use case is for that. And so the intercompany trading allows you to automate the intercompany processes between those different subsidiaries. Then you've got master data replication, and the final piece is financial consolidations. So the intercompany processes work as follows. As you can see from the slide, there's a number of steps. So the thing with the intercompany is each company has a pair. So you've always got a buying company and a selling company, but you can have it the other way around as well. You can have multiple buying companies or multiple selling companies. So just use your imagination if it's more than one subsidiary you're working with. So for this process, typically the way that it works is a purchase order is created in the buying company, and it automatically creates a sales order for the selling company. Once the order is received, then a goods receipt purchase order is created from a delivery note. And sometimes companies want to do that manually, and we can work with that, or sometimes they want it automated, so which is really the purpose of what we do. Once the goods receipts and delivery notes are done, then we create an accounts payable invoice from the accounts receivable invoice. And then if any of the goods need to be returned, part of the process enables you to do a goods return to a sales return. And as part of that return, we can do an accounts payable credit note or from an accounts receivable credit note. And then if there are any payments between the companies as part of this process, again, that is something that is automated in our intercompany solution. Now, when we go through the process of working with customers for this solution, we obviously make sure that we sit down and understand the dynamics of how their business works and how this will fit in for them to offer this side of the solution. So, sorry. The benefits, obviously, of the intercompany solution is that there's a lot of manual administration if you are working with two companies, if you're having to recreate any of the documentation that I mentioned before. Rekeying data in more than one business is obviously takes a lot of time, but also it can be error prone. So by using an intercompany solution such as this, you can reduce the times and costs for users and obviously have better data consistency. The other benefit is to have standardized business processes. So each company is working in the same way, which makes it, even if they're in disparate regions, makes everything better for the company as a whole. And again, you've got increased visibility into what is happening between all the companies in the business. And lastly, of course, the benefit is that you get better collaboration because you've got that visibility. So those are the key benefits of implementing this kind of solution. So now we'll move on to the intercompany master data replication. And really, the master data is obviously key with this kind of solution because, again, you want to be able to know what is going on in both systems if you've got multiple companies. So the kind of things that are replicated with the master data is obviously any items that you've got. Now, the items list, you need to make sure that both companies have the same items so that you can have one catalog and that you can synchronize between the two. Then, of course, the other master data that we work with is the chart of accounts. And key, if you're working outside of, say, the USA, is that you can manage things like currency and exchange rates. The other master data that we take into consideration for this solution is cost accounting, and that can be when you've got dimensions, distribution rules, cost centers, projects, anything like that can be managed. And also another one is business partners, which obviously, if you're doing any kind of drop shipment with intercompany solutions, having the master data of business partners can be very key to that, to enable you to do that easily. And I guess the final piece of the intercompany solution is to be able to do financial consolidations. Now, with financial consolidations obviously mean different things for different companies, but in the world of intercompany, for us, what that means is that we actually go about creating a separate database. And that database is used solely for these financial consolidations. And really all the process is it rolls up all the financial information from the other companies into a consolidation database and then creates them as journal entries. Now, obviously, once the journal entries are there, you're probably going to want to do some kind of reporting. And that's where SAP comes in. BPA platform and this intercompany solution does not do that reporting because within SAP Business One, you have all the tools that will enable you to do that. And you can then take the data, slice and dice it, whatever way you want to with that. And so in a nutshell, that is the core of what our intercompany template solution does. One of the things that I've shared, I'm not demoing today because it's not an easy thing to demo the intercompany solution, but I do have a video that I've shared with the Quaint team. And if you want to see a copy of that afterwards to actually get a sense of what the software itself looks like and how some of these transactions and processes work, then obviously we can do that for you. But I thought as a bit of a wrap up as well, that I would share with you all what else BPA platform can offer. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this call, BPA platform is a process automation platform. And over the years, we have created a number of these templates for customers. So the kind of things that we have sort of out of the box, for want of a better word, are things like Shopify integration, Magento integration, Amazon integration, WooCommerce integration. There's a theme here. It's all sort of e-commerce. But as well as that, we can do things like Salesforce integration, HubSpot integration, and we do work with other CRMs. We've recently been working with a customer to do Zoho CRM and also customer service integration. So not everything that we do is obviously on this slide. And then, of course, being a certified SAP solution, we're also a certified partner with Concur, and we can offer as well expense and invoice integration for Concur. So as I say, there's many things that BPA platform can offer as well as the intercompany, which makes it a powerful tool set for you to use. And that's kind of everything I have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for doing that overview. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Nicole, I have a question. I noticed a lot in the presentation that you talked about like templates, and it's a template solution, but can edits or customizations be done if customers have specific processes or require specific data?
Absolutely. So really, when we talk about templates, they're really a starting point. So there is a process that is configured, but the whole purpose with BPA platform is to let you actually customize or make it the way that you need to do it. So yes, it can definitely, if a customer needs something different, if you need additional fields mapped, anything like that, then you can do that with BPA. The other thing I didn't mention is, of course, the software itself is very much a low-code solution. So for obviously for partners, it makes it easier to use, but sometimes customers do get involved and actually can become self-sufficient as well.
Is there a limit to the number of transactions that can be processed, like each month, for example?
No. So the software, so when there is a template, the price is based on the template. So it's not even, you can have 2 intercompanies, 5 intercompanies, 10 intercompanies, but the price for the template is exactly the same. And no, we don't charge, for example, when we talk about the e-commerce integration, we don't charge for each transaction.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I have a follow-up question on that. Nicole, so how does the pricing work? Is it based on licenses?
Correct. It is, but it's one license for the solution, or for the number of what we call tasks or processes. But for the intercompany, it is just sort of the template price.
Okay. Do you integrate with SAP the SQL version and the HANA version?
Yes, we do, both of them.
Awesome.
We have a specific SAP Business One Connect tool, and so that's how we connect, and that's the tool that is certified by SAP.
Okay, great. And I think you kind of already touched on this, Nicole, but just to specify, the intercompany solution works on all localizations. Is that correct?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. It can work with multiple currencies as well.
Awesome. That's great.
Nicole, so with this intercompany and the setup and having to solve errors, is that a big deal with your solution? Is there many errors?
So that's actually a really good question, because the way that we set up any intercompany process is within the software itself. We have a way of creating what we call a staging database. And so a lot of the work gets done in the staging database. So if there's any kind of errors, then they are trapped there. And you can send out a notification to somebody to say, this hasn't worked, this has failed, or whatever it is. So there is a way of tracking errors so that you know what's going on. And that can be either shared, say your partner, with the partner, or if you've got someone internal who wants to have those notifications, then that's where they come to.
Okay, and those errors, is it easy to understand what the problem is?
Yeah, typically yes. I mean, it's not an error that wouldn't make sense to somebody.
Yes, that's awesome.
We all appreciate that.
It's hard to know. I mean, if I'm honest, I don't do the technical side of things, but I do understand that they're normally self-explanatory. There's always the one time there isn't there?
Thank you.
Any other questions? These were all great questions, by the way.
I guess I just have one more question, and that would be, what is the timeline to implement the intercompany solution?
That's a very good question again. It shouldn't be a long timeline. However, it really depends on whether there becomes a lot of complexity. I mean, obviously, if everything is scoped out and reviewed right at the beginning, to ensure, how many companies, what pieces are needed and how they're needed, and that if there's any testing that needs to be done, that people do that testing and have the data and all that good stuff. To be a long implementation. There's no such thing as a typical implementation. I wish to say there was, but I think you all feel me when I say that that's not necessarily possible. But it shouldn't take more than, say, approximately 4 weeks.
Okay, thanks, Nicole.
And just to piggyback off of that, Nicole, based on some of your prerequisites, if you will, it sounds like it's more about the logistics or making sure that, the master data and stuff is lining up, and then it would probably go pretty smoothly.
Yes, and also that that the companies talk to each other in the same way. You can't have, say, a customer in the USA or a database in the USA and a database in Mexico, and they're totally different, and then it's just going to make it much harder to set up. So there needs to be alignment, but the alignment also is key when the processes have to align. So they have to be doing things in the same way. You can't automate it if one person's doing it one way and someone else is doing it another way.
Right. Nope, that makes sense. Okay, well, thank you all for your questions. We appreciate you being here. Please feel free to follow us on LinkedIn and check out our website resource page where we have more features and tips and tricks. And also be sure to go out and follow Fisher Technologies and see what they're doing with the BPA platform. Such a great product. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nicole, for being a part of this today. And we look forward to seeing you next time on another product feature.